Good evening, Cubes of the Cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and this evening, tonight, joined as always on In the Hot Seat with the usual suspects, is my co-host Digger Jim. Jim, how you doing this evening, sir? Is he frozen? Jim's frozen. He'll get back to us. And there he is. And our special guest co-host this evening, none other than Comic Journey himself. CJ, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good. I thought I would have gotten like a special entrance or something like that.
I didn't get the check. You don't get a special entrance.
You just put me in a cluster with the rest of the people. Like I'm lost in the shuffle. At least flip me over with Digger Jim in a boxes, so I could be the bottom, he could be the top. Come on,
all right. You know what? We'll let you be your power bottom. We won't take that away.
There we go. Much better. I feel a little more balanced right now.
Appearing together, and as I like to call them when they're together, Big Tasty and Little Tasty. We have Brian LCS and Marcus Surcam Stances. How you doing?
Which one am I? Am I big or little?
Well, that's for you two to decide.
Okay, all right.
We'll have to talk
after
after the show.
The format a little different tonight because we don't have one featured guest. We have both of these fine gentlemen, but we are here, guys, tonight to talk about the CBCA Awards. Season 3, or are we calling it? Is it a season or is it?
No, we're usually doing it by year, so 2023.
So you're all right. Yeah. So year 3. But before we do that, why don't you guys introduce yourselves and give a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll say hi to the chat and then get right into it.
We'll let little Tasty go, I guess.
I am a Little Tasty, aka Circumstance.
I knew that was coming.
I really hope these names are going to stick now. I'm so amused.
I am a guy who saw Brian.
It's on.
I saw Brian do the awards the first year, and I really enjoyed the vibe of what he was trying to do. So I fully sold myself, and I am the official attack dog of the CBC Awards.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know if Marcus and I ever really talked that way. Like he just jumped on board, and
I did. It was completely independent of Brian, for sure.
It was kind of good cop, bad cop, where I can play the good guy. I have to be a little bit above some of the noise because I'm the face of the awards, and so I learned early on that I can't.
Well, you have
mix
to have
it up.
objective distance, right?
Yeah. I can't, mix it up with everybody who complains about the awards or, dislikes what we're doing. And so, Marcus
can't close doors
and filled that role.
So you basically hired Marcus to be your asshole.
No, I actually signed up, volunteered because it's kind of my specialty.
He's volunteer asshole.
Yes, I'm very. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm pretty good at it.
All right, well, let's say hi to the chat, and then we'll get back to you, fine gents. So first thing, as always, we have Las Cruces. Good evening, sir. Phil's Treehouse, great to see you. All right, Jerry the Jitterbug, always great to see you, Jerry. Dr. Von Hoots from the Spiral Dimension. Good evening, sir.
Wait, Phil's a Canadian? I didn't know.
Oh, he's not.
What?
He says hello from South Canada. Tony from Comiverse. Greetings. And who else? We have Adam in. Good evening, Adam. Ignacio, how are you, sir?
Iggy.
And Psychedelic Comics. Good evening. Aggressively Relaxing, one of my favorite names.
AR.
Naman, how are you, sir? And all right, filling up. So now we got the highs out of the way. We got a good chat working. When you approach this year, what was the main focus of what you wanted to change how you approached it?
I think the biggest thing this year has really been just trying to spread the word, right? We're in year 3. And it's really been a goal of mine, and I think everybody, a number of people who have been supporting the awards to help really spread the word about the awards and try to reach, more channels and more awareness really for the awards. And so, when we finished up the awards from last year in December, took a little time off and then really kind of started to talk about it and, post on Instagram and really just try to spread the word. I mean, that's really been the goal. And I think, so far, so good. I mean, I think there's been a lot of discussion, good and bad, but both, regardless of the angle that people are taking, it does help spread the word, whether somebody's bashing it or supporting it. So
All
Well,
publicity
that's
is
the thing,
good
right?
publicity.
No press is bad press.
Yeah.
right.
Every time someone pros it or cons it, it's reaching new ears, regardless of how it gets out there.
I know the recent guy who posted it hating on Instagram really did wonders for us. I mean, I cannot thank that guy enough. The amount of people who know about it, who didn't know about it now because of him and because of me trying to accentuate the drama, I really felt like it went a long ways for spreading the word. And I'm excited to see the jump that we get this year. I talked with Brian at the end of the awards last year, and what I told him was the exact same goal he said, which is to spread the word. And my way to spread the word is to get these bigger channels who have these huge communities that are far bigger than our communities to start talking about these awards. I know we've had Reggie, who's been a great asset for the awards in terms of spreading the word, but I've got to get more of them to talk about it. I know Robbie at Pop Culture Philosophers has agreed to talk about it. Comics with Bueller is going to talk about it. So that's the big goal, is that we can only do so much with the small communities that we've built up. It's time for us to get the big dogs and get them to help us spread this word.
So basically, you leaned into the drama to make sure that you get more attention.
Oh yeah. I'm a big proponent of not caring about comic book beef, and I work hard not to care, because as you can say, when I care too much. So it's important that I try very hard not to care. But I decided to care with this whole recent drama because I saw an opportunity to spread the word, because people love that recreational outrage. They love that drama, and they're going to come check it out. And it worked charms. I cannot describe to you the amount of people I had in my DMs talking to me because of what I was doing, telling me to finish him, asking me questions about the comic book community awards. It really, I knew that recreational outrage farming worked, but when I participated in it myself, I got to see firsthand, man, that shit works, man.
Well, you got a good eye for what I like to call sensationalism, right? Sensationalism, it's an actual thing. It really helps promote things if you can find the sensational aspect of it and blow that up, kind of like a pro wrestling angle or something that catches the audience attention, right?
That's exactly the vibe. Pro wrestling.
And you did that for Aces, and it's always, and I want to touch on that kind of thing for a moment, right? Because you get what is really confusing to me with some of these people that automatically want to crap on something that they didn't know existed for the last 2 years, and all of a sudden they got a beef with it. And a beef with a guy who's had a channel now for a couple of years, but they've spent zero time on his channel, but now all of a sudden they care about what he's doing and why it doesn't include them, when they've watched 0% of his content, or probably don't even know who he is ever until that one day when that happened across their stream.
Yeah, I don't understand the anger, because it is just at this point in time, it is a small part of the community. We're trying to get a bigger chunk, and I think we're due for a bigger chunk this year. But I don't understand the anger, because it is one of those things, why, if you don't want it, if you're not into it, then I don't understand why you would care at all, unless your job is to farm outrage, and then you have every reason to care.
And I think that's exactly it there, little tasty, is you're creating outrage to, and this is where CJ's hashtag look at me comes in. They don't really care about the awards, but by pretending to have beef with them, it gets eyes on their channel from different crowds again, and it's a way for them to promote themselves through hating on something else. If you're not making real content, you got to make hater content.
Well, now that we're on,
and that's the problem I have with these people.
Now that we're at the top of the hate and hating on things, whatever the case is, I just want to bring something to let's talk about this a little bit. Marcus, in the beginning, you were a little bit negative about the awards. If I remember
personally,
correctly,
I wasn't vocally negative, but yeah, I was personally negative. Yes.
Well, you didn't necessarily, you weren't supportive, which
no, I didn't. The first year of the awards, my whole thing was I don't care at all. But I am kind of curious about why everyone else cares. So I was interested in the drama that popped up around it. And I was curious as to why people seemed to care about it when it didn't actually, you don't have to care. The opposite of hate is not You know, opposite of love is not hate, it's apathy. So I didn't understand why these people were giving so much emotion to something that was really small and insignificant that first year. You know, it was just a baby trying to grow up. But so my attitude was, I was with the people who said, who is this Brian guy? Who does he think he is? He's got like at the time he had like 200 subs. Like, who does he think he is, trying to represent this community that's so much larger to him? And I agreed with the people who took that tack towards him. Like, who do you think you are? But what happened is that after the fact, I went and watched the first award show. And it was then that I saw what Brian was trying to do. It wasn't this sort of, he wasn't, I mean, maybe there was an aspect of it, but he wasn't doing it to say, hey, I'm cool, guys, look at me. He was doing it to say, there is this incredible community that's being built every single day on YouTube. We have these people advancing the comic book YouTube medium in various ways, doing various things that are interesting. And we're all, you know, and people are copying these guys who are being innovative in ways in which we entertain each other about these comic books. Maybe we should highlight these people and celebrate them and point people to them. And that was the whole vibe. The vibe wasn't, hey, let's do this thing because I'm super important and everybody should come to me so they can get into it. It's, hey, this awesome thing is happening every day on YouTube and I want to celebrate this. And that came through so strongly in the first one that without even talking to Brian, I became a full-throated supporter after that.
Nice. And let's talk about the way the awards go too, right? It's community voted.
Yeah, community based.
Now,
I think that's, you know, that's one of the big, I think, misconceptions, that people think it's, you know, some small committee that is, you know, picking the nominees and then ultimately the finalists and the winners. And I mean, we're basically just bean counters, right? We're counting the votes, and it's really community driven. And so that's why there's this major push to spread the word so that we can get more people involved. Because, you know, when somebody, I've seen some of the winners post, you know, previous year's winners post on Instagram, and, you know, there's a few individuals, some of the bigger channels, that really get some hate. And I don't understand that, you know, like, if you don't like something, just leave it alone.
Yeah, I've never understood that. If I don't like a TV show, I just don't watch it.
Right. But if you're really that upset about it that you'll write a nasty comment on a, you know, on a video or on an Instagram post, well, then you have the ability to change that. You have the ability to get your circle involved and to nominate the channels that you prefer. And, you know, the guys you don't vote for. So, you know, that's really the goal this year, is really to just try to spread the word. And then, you know, and I've had comments like that saying, oh, how could that person have won? All right, well, you have the opportunity to vote and to change that. So, you know,
well, I vote all the time, and my vote doesn't count for some reason. I don't know why that happens. Like, what the hell? You know, like your vote doesn't. My vote should be like 20 times more, Brian. But anyway,
stop the steal.
I reflect the real comic community with my, you know.
Well, every time you vote, CJ, I think Tyler votes opposite to cancel out your vote.
Doing the Lord's work, Tyler.
But, well, I just want to speak about it a second from my channel's perspective. All right, because I won an award last year, and I did that without once campaigning my channel, because I don't believe in campaigning myself. And the only time I talk about the awards is when I have you on for you to talk about them. And I'll throw a plug to send someone to your channel, but I don't promote my channel at all. I don't promote any of my content. I don't do any self-promotion. And when I got one last year, I was completely surprised. And I did not ask one person in this community to vote for me.
It's okay, guys. It's okay to ask people. It's okay.
No, yeah, I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying that's my personal thing, right?
Sure.
But I'm saying for those people that are saying it's rigged, I didn't campaign at all. I just happened to get votes.
I mean, campaigning doesn't mean it's rigged, though. I think my biggest pet peeve,
but the people who are saying that, you know, it's rigged, like I'm from a viewpoint where I didn't campaign at all and I ended up getting votes. And even if you're campaigning and promoting your channel, yeah, there's nothing wrong with promoting your channel. I'm just not that dude. And the ones that do promote their channel, they do a great job of it, and they bring a lot of attention to the awards for Brian.
Yeah.
But you did get upset the previous year by not winning, right, Gary?
What's that?
You did get upset the previous year for not winning, though.
No.
It bothered you a little bit. Come on, be honest. Be honest.
No,
Our egos,
I had fun watching other people be bothered.
everybody's egos get in the mix. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved.
I'm already loved.
I have a very oversized ego. It is extremely oversized, but it has nothing to do. I do not attach my I don't attach my ego to comic book stuff. It's attached to far more important things. So it's always weird to me.
I'm calling you out too, Marcus.
It's true.
Bull.
My ego is attached to raising my kids, to loving my wife. My ego is attached to those things. So I fail every day. Like, I make videos. I spend 2 hours on these videos and they get 20 views. If my ego was attached to this, it would be crushed by this whole thing. I promise you.
Bull. I call you out on that one. I completely call you out on that one. Yes, family is most important. Your personal life is most important. I agree. I'm with you 100% on that. But if you didn't have at least a little bit of an ego, you wouldn't be doing the look at me's. You wouldn't be doing the look at me. And that's why everybody does them. Because we all have a little bit of ego.
Oh, I mean, we create content because we want people to interact with us. That's obvious.
Yeah, you would say it's about ego,
right?
I am competitive, just not about this. It's not I get what you're saying, CJ, that there has to be ego involved for you to jump on a YouTube channel, but it's not ego for me. It's like, I just want to hang out, guys. I want to go and kick it with people who are nerds like me. And that's what it's about. It's not about my ego.
Huh?
But I hear you, though. I understand you.
Oh, there we go.
And that's the biggest, that's the best thing. Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. It helps channels discover. I mean, I know because I'm running it, I'm seeing all the nominations and things. So I'm finding channels that I don't even know about. And so, we tried to publish the nomination list so that we can help spread the word to, other channels, or, so that, because there's certain circles, right? We all kind of run in different circles, although there's the larger community. There's certain channels that you gravitate towards, maybe channels that you started with or channels you first discovered. And so there's these little circles that, you see the same people in different chats. I try to pop into other live streams, maybe channels that I don't regularly watch, just to say hello, see what's going on. I did that this week, and somebody was like, "Hey, I don't think you've ever been on my channel." I'm like, "I've been subbed to your channel for years. I just maybe don't watch your content all the time, but I think that's one of the benefits of the awards is it can help spread awareness on channels, like certainly like new channels, or one of the categories is best unknown channel under 100 subs. So it definitely can put some eyeballs on on some channels that maybe others don't know about.
And for me, that's the best thing about it and that was the part of what drew me into it the first year, is like, I didn't know Tyler and Whack Comics that first year, and they're like among my favorite things to hang out with now. I didn't know about a ton of people in that first show and got exposed to them. And that was what drew me in to say, okay, I see what you're doing. You're not celebrating yourself, you're celebrating this community.
Two things.
Oh, go ahead, CJ.
Two things. First off, Mad Spidey's comment about me having the biggest ego in the whole comic community. That might be true. But I will tell you this much. At least I admit to it. That's the big difference. At least I admit to having an ego. I got a freaking massive ego because I like to be the best.
I just admitted I have an ego. I do. It's just not related.
I didn't say everybody. I just say, unlike many other people, okay, I admit to have an ego. And then this is my question towards you. Since you guys both want to make this thing big, you want to make it super, super big, massive. Who's your get? Who's that guy? Who's that community channel? Who is that channel in our real comic book community that you want to get to endorse it, that you think will bring it to the next level? Who's that one channel?
I'll go first on this one, Brian. I've been trying to get The Hunt to involve themselves. It's a great comic book competition channel. They come up with wrestling characters and they do these wrestling promos with each other, and they battle each other with their comic book covers with the audience voting. It's a great, huge part of this community that is completely absent from the awards thus far. And I have been begging them to involve themselves, because the thing that people don't understand about these awards are the numbers the way that they are, it doesn't take a lot to change the entire face of this thing. It does not take much at all to change how this entire thing looks. And I've been trying to stress to Tony and the Hunt is that you guys have the community where if you guys decided to take this thing over, you could. And instead of everybody being mad about Reggie Collects winning, we can be mad about the Hunt winning, because the thing that people don't understand is just a numbers game. Brian is not deciding anything here. So getting mad at him about how the votes tallied up doesn't make sense.
Well, let's while we're talking about that and things, I'm looking up what Brian and I were talking about earlier. Do you guys want to speak about, and I know you wanted to touch base on it, Brian, with some of the misconceptions about the awards, if you wanted to give a public a voice to that.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's really just that it's, the nominations or the finalists or the winners are being selected by a small group of channels, and that's not the case. Well, it is a small group of channels because we only have 400 or 500 channels that are involved voting, so we need to expand that out further. And that's what we're continuing to do, and that's why we need some of these bigger channels to talk about it. So,
and Mad Spidey, I want to respond to Mad Spidey, who said most subs win. The thing that I want to stress about is that's not true at all, because if you look at YouTube, you can see a channel with 1,000 subs, 1,000 plus subs, but if you look at their videos, they're getting 20, 30 views. And then you look at another channel with the same amount of subs and they're getting hundreds of views on their channel. So subs, one sub is not equal another sub. They're not the same. Your ability to move your subs is not based on the count. It's based on you.
I want to interject for a second. You did mention the Hunt as far as being a community, a channel that you'd want to have endorsed. And it's a great channel to have endorsed. And I'm part of that community. I like Tony. I like everybody else that's involved in that. But quite honestly, I think you're setting your bar a little low as far as trying to get that real type of endorsement from massive channels. They do have a big grip, and maybe they'll give you another 100, maybe 200 additional people that will participate. However, there's a lot larger channels that are out there. Again, no offense to the Hunt. I love the channel. I love everything, but they're not massive. They're not. I don't think them to be that I don't believe them to be that channel that's gonna put this CBC Awards into the next stratosphere. I just
well, I hear where you're coming from, and that was just my answer in terms of my personal preference of who I'm trying to get involved in this thing. But that's not the only channel I'm trying to get involved in this thing. If you ask Pressable Defects, the people who came out strongly against this thing, I was in their DM saying, "Hey guys, what do you guys need to not be mad about this? What do you guys need to get your community involved in this? What do you guys need to start talking about this thing?" So when I say the Hunt, I don't mean only the Hunt. I'm just saying that's one of my top people that I'm trying to get involved in this thing, because I think they would be a lot of fun. I think getting some Hunt skits during the award show would be a blast. And that was my whole thing. But we can walk and chew gum at the same time, brother.
Well, and Gary's making a point too to Mad Spidey. My channel also represents this. Jerry and I both won last year. Neither one of us had the most subs in our category. I certainly didn't have it.
Yeah, and I don't want to address that with Mad Spidey because he's been on that for a while. So he was nominated and won in Best Statue. And he's a small channel, right? And he went up against one of the bigger channels, Gem Mint. So I can see that argument, but that's one of the things that we tried to do with some of the awards, where we added the tiers so that we didn't have so many situations where you had a small channel up against a really, really big, David and Goliath type situation. And so, his point is taken, but he happens to fall into a category that not, statue reviews, not a lot of channels do that. And the channels that do happen to be there's some really big channels. So,
and I think, and I would say to Mad Spidey that there was value on having his name on that list next to those huge channels.
Sure.
There's definitely value in that.
Well, he definitely has value being on the list. And I'll say something else about you mentioned Jerry's channel along with you. At least all your competition, Gary, belonged on that nomination. On those nominations, at least all your competition, if I remember correctly, they were all common community builders in one way or the other. In Jerry's thing, he wasn't competing against legitimate restoration people.
Oh, that's not the category I won in.
Yeah. Well, which one was it that you wanted? Remind me.
What best collaboration?
All right, best
Best
collab.
collaborative show was the 10-1-1.
All right, I'm sorry, I mixed up your freaking
Oh
awards.
no,
Okay,
no.
all right, all right. So you won the best collaboration. At least in your category, you were going against other people that were collaborating again together.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
point I wanted to make.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
in Jerry's case, he was not going against only restoration channels. He was going into pop channel, and I really want quality control for the awards that really work. And who the hell let her on? Who let her on this freaking thing?
She's
I
here
don't
to
like this
corral
guy.
you.
Oh my
I
god!
don't like this guy. I just got back from the comic shop, but I'm not gonna. No,
Hey,
It's not
do you
about
remember,
me.
CJ? Do you remember when Lady F kicked your ass twice on the hunt? I was wondering if you remember that because I remembered it. I just didn't know if you
yeah,
remembered
I
it.
haven't forgotten.
Listen, we all know the recount's in. We're waiting for the final result to come in. So I don't want to even get started on that. All right, I'm not gonna make myself little. I'm not gonna make myself little by even addressing that. But I want to get back to the question: how are we gonna affect quality control and make sure that these?
So to be specific, you were upset that Comic Tom was in that category. Is that correct?
He did not belong there.
Well, I disagree with you, CJ, because like I said,
You
he
disagree,
doesn't.
but I'm telling you,
Nor did he win.
he didn't
for what
belong
it's worth.
there.
Well, but he presents. So out of the other channels that were nominated, he was the best. He was one of the better channels to represent that category because there were channels that were nominated that had no restoration. Tom doesn't do pressing and cleaning and restoration himself. He had a third party come on, but he presented that content on his channel. And so if you go and look at his channel and do a search for pressing and cleaning, there are a number of videos, and I did my homework. So I did quality control. So stick that Kool-Aid man where,
Up your asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you
All right?
have to have?
Because I've got the bronze shit bowl here, so screw you.
Listen, Mr. Shitball, I'm saying this. Why do we have to have X amount of nominees? If they don't all qualify, why do you have to have 5 or 4?
I think
or
the
whatever?
disagreement is that we disagree that Tom qualified, right? It's not that they.
What was the
and
topic
I'll
again?
disagree with you because, like I said, I did
Restoration.
my homework. I went to his channel. I did a search. Although it's not Tom sitting there with a press and an eraser cleaning a book, he does have that content on his channel, so it is represented. It's different than Jerry. Jerry's in a whole different atmosphere with what he does. And if you even look on year one, we had a number of channels that press and clean for the community. They don't actually show that content on their channels. So that category year one evolved in year two, and I expect that it will continue to evolve in year 3.
Gary's channel is knee deep in pussy. Also, as an aside.
Now,
Well, I'm going to just say this. I agree to disagree with you on that topic. Okay, we could do that, right?
Yeah, sure.
I know it's 2023, but we can agree to disagree, right? I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't accept that answer, but I will concede to that answer.
Right. I don't accept that you don't accept my answer, but
Okay, but I will say
Sounds like
this
you guys
much:
need to go
I didn't
buy-
agree with a lot of the nominees that were in the first one as well. I just want to. I listen. I'm trying to. I want this to be a good thing for the community, and that's why I'm being tough on you. I'm tough love. I'm giving you tough love because I really want it to be something that anybody could get behind, and not necessarily find any holes in the thing. And by putting nominees in there that don't really fit the mold.
But he just described to you how he does fit the mold, and it doesn't matter to you. So let's move on to another subject.
well, let me just ask you then, CJ. Was that the only category that you felt that a nominee or a finalist didn't fit the category? Or were there others?
Do you really want me to dissect every single category one by one? I
No,
did that.
no, but I mean,
right after the award.
it is. We don't have to do that here, but that is great feedback to give me because I may not see it, or the committee may not see that. But if you think there are channels that don't fit the category, the peg, the peg in the hole there, then that's good feedback to know because that's something that we can look to this year to make sure that channels are fitting the category.
We'll definitely talk about that.
Okay.
Gary, by the way, I am sorry.
For what?
I'm sorry. I'm talking too
you were
much.
brought on to be silent, CJ. You were brought
I
on to have an
forget. I
opinion.
forget that this is not my channel. I'm not the host.
You're doing what you're here to. You're doing what you were put here to do, CJ. Don't trip.
I apologize about that.
There's no apologies, CJ. If
Nobody's
I know
tripping,
who
brother.
you are. If I didn't want your opinion, I wouldn't have you on the show, buddy.
I'm just
By the way,
surprised he hasn't
your
mentioned his
opinion's
appearance
welcome.
fee yet.
Did I? Well, we talked about it behind stage. Gary actually pays. He pays. Okay.
Wait a second. I haven't been paid yet.
It went straight into my Venmo. Well, listen. We talk about different things right now. By the way, thank you, Gary. I didn't thank you in the beginning for having me on. I do want to take 2 seconds just to say thank you.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
thank you for coming on.
I want to take 2 seconds to thank CJ for being here. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you for having this healthy debate with me, Marcus. Thank you.
Now,
I want to
wanna
thank
take 2
everybody on the
seconds to
panel
say,
and everybody in the chat. How's that?
Oh, I wanted to take 2 seconds to say that CJ is the most masculine man, hyper machismo, testosterone, bull nads, and
that's just the daily injections.
Well,
It's the tobacco.
I definitely appreciate your factual observations, lady.
We got DJ Links. That's not the CJ CBC. Oh, who gets in control? All right, so let's get back to the community part of it, right?
Do we have a time limit on this, by the way?
Trying to do.
Are you going
I'm
to
going
kick
to-
us off
I'm going
like,
to bed.
you normally do?
My
Or are we going
bedtime's
to
in
keep
30
this
minutes.
going as long as it goes?
Well, no, it's only 8:30. Well, we can go for a little bit.
All right, good, because I got plenty more questions.
Oh, that's fine. But part of what you guys are trying to do together, especially this year, is bring more awareness and spread the word in the community. What are some of the things that the messages you're trying to get out to the community where they can help you guys, such as like tonight you're appearing on a show? Well, for those that
let me go
don't have
first.
a platform to have you guys on, how can they help spread the word about the CBCA Awards?
My favorite thing that Brian has done, and I want everybody listening to consider doing it, is he has made these little videos showing off the awards and highlighting them, and you can add your own music to these videos to put your own flair on it and share it on your page in an effort to try and help us spread the word. So if you are interested in doing that, hit up Brian, hit up me. We would love to send you one of these videos in a message. You can download it, add your music, and share it, and let's get this thing going. That's the best thing that I've seen so far that he's changed this year, and we really got to do it because this thing has to be community driven. We all have got to do our part to push
Well,
this.
you gave a good segue into it, so let's take just a quick moment.
Yeah, there's no music though. It needs music. Got to have the music.
What are you feeding into this guy's propaganda? Are you showing off their commercials now? Is that
I got the check, CJ. What do you want me to say?
Look at all those correctly spelled words. I'm so proud of Brian. Look at
I
all
got a
that.
question.
Yes, Marcus
Right,
is now my official spell checker as well.
Marcus, what if you're not technologically savvy
Then
and
I
you're
can walk.
really
It's super easy, and I will walk you through how to do it. It's super easy. You are way smarter than me, ladies, so I have no doubt you can figure this out.
I know some things and I don't know other things.
Yeah.
And it would
But
be
you're
amazing
smart.
to me.
Like knowing things is different than being smart. And so
I can be taught.
I think you can handle it.
I'm
Yeah.
teachable. I'm
It's
trainable.
really simple. We send you what basically the process is. If you want it, we send you the message. We send you a message with that video. You press and hold on the video and click save to camera. And then you go to +sign in Instagram and add it as a reel. And then go to audio and select whatever music you want to add to it. Because I think the music is the key to make it you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it was funny. So I put out, so I have those kind of standard videos, but I took, because if you look on Instagram, most of the videos, a lot of the videos you see are, scantily clad women shaking things around.
I got
camera.
you, Dan.
And so I took a couple clips of that in the beginning of those videos and posted that. And I think that video, the video I had with, somebody, some woman dancing, had like 4 times the views of any other video I've ever posted.
It works. It works.
So,
Well,
but
I
people-
posted 2 videos. Yeah, it works. So,
Yeah.
Right, and people will complain about it, but they're still watching it, right?
Yeah, well, and that, we did have people
Which is
complaining about
hilarious.
that video, saying, stay classy, but
Nope.
I mean, I've got
I will not.
strange women sending me DMs 4 times a day, saying, "Follow me, and I'll send you some pictures." And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
I
they get me
kinda
every
wish she
time.
had her to pull a comic out of that dress when she was unzipping. But
Now Marcus is missing an opportunity for a short, but I wanted to bring it up to him.
Oh, I'm
Now, there's a
always down
movie
for
called
that.
Anchorman where there's a famous line in it which always cracks me up. Where it's like, I don't know if you know this, but kind of a
Kind
big
of a
deal.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that would be perfect, and then have the CBCA Awards banner play.
People know me.
Right? Yeah,
I'm gonna-
people know me.
I'll
Just
have to take a look at that.
I have many leather-bound books.
right.
kind of a big deal.
But no, that's good. So
sent it to you.
I'm curious what
Anybody else,
content
let me
creators
know.
could do to help you guys out. So
Yeah, I mean, and it's really just word of mouth, right? We're trying to have people, and one of the things I did earlier this year was I reached out to all of the previous winners and asked them to, here was their opportunity, right? Because some people have mentioned about campaigning that they don't, when the nomination period is open, they don't want to mention it on their channel because they might feel like they're campaigning.
Oh, I hate
Others,
it. I hate it.
but others will, take it head on and we'll talk about it. But I said, look, nominations don't open until May. So here's your opportunity. You've got January, February, March, April. You can, talk about the awards or share something on Instagram. And, that way you're not in this, contradiction of like, oh, I'm campaigning when the nominations are open. So there's certainly opportunity to do that ahead of the awards. If that's your, if you're, don't want to be perceived as campaigning.
And that is a key for us growing this thing is we've got to get the bigger channels in our community to talk about it. It's so important. And I'm begging them. I really am.
Well, you haven't begged me enough.
Well, I'm going to just make something clear for everybody that's in the chat right now. And I think it's important that we do bring this up because I don't think we have so far. In case there's anybody under a rock, they don't know exactly what's going on with the CBC Awards and that kind of thing. This is only for YouTube channel. This is not for...
Well, there's no categories that would apply to Instagram and
It
other
just
things.
froze. I love
Yeah,
it.
I mean, year one, we did try to include Instagram because I did really see Instagram as a tool that a lot of people on YouTube use to be able to communicate with direct messages. But we're strictly only YouTube channels can be nominated. That was one change that we made in year 2. That was strictly just the YouTube community.
right, which is good and ever expanding. And I see that what you've started to is expanding into different communities, and they're starting their own things based off what you've done. And imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's been a few people that are, there's Neil Collects. He's kind of doing a collecting community awards for for other channels, cards and pop figures and things like that. So he's kind of doing a general collecting community awards that he's trying to kind of get off the ground, this year. So
Nice. Now with the community, not the community. I'm sorry. With the people that help you,
committee.
the committee. How is the committee put together? Now, is that a volunteer committee or people that
So
you
it's volunteer.
reached out to?
Yeah, volunteer, open to anybody. So year one, we had 3 people or 4 people on the committee. And really the idea behind the committee for me was so that I had some other eyes on the nominations and all the data that comes in. So it's not only me looking at it. So I have some other people to help validate it and look at it. And, I can certainly, CJ's argument about a channel not fitting into a category or not being, a good representation of that category. I need other people to help me with that because my point of view, I may have one point of view on something and, the committee kind of helps keep me honest. And so this year, I think last year we had 12 committee members. This year we have 13. So basically, everybody who was a committee member last year has come back, and it's peers within the community. There are some people on the committee that don't have channels, but are involved, with comic books and things like that. So, but it's open. Anybody who would like to join, and we want to have different corners of the community on the committee, so that we're making sure that we're hearing everybody's voice and be able to, every year I expect that the award categories will evolve and will shift with the community. As the community pivots, so will the awards. So,
Right.
And
Yeah. Everything's always changing. Everything's got to be fluid.
And to address Tyler here, one misconception that people are pushing about this committee is that we're picking and choosing who is involved and who's not involved. And that is not at all what we're doing. What we're doing is what Brian said, is we're trying to give him feedbacks on things. We're trying to come up with ideas and ways in which we can make this thing bigger and better. And that's entirely what the committee it does. It's like one of the things that has come up is like we're talking about, all right, well, once we have the nomination period, let's have some videos put together for the nominees. Because one of the things is when you're voting is that you don't know who all the nominees are. And so we're wanting to give voters an opportunity to take a look at these people before they vote. And that's something that Brian's put together in terms of once the nominees are together, there's going to be video highlights put together promoting them so that people know what they are. And that's just one of the things. That's just one of the suggestions that has come from this committee. So the committee is not saying these guys are in, these guys are out. The committee is saying, hey, how do we make this better, and how do we appeal to a larger swath of this community?
Yeah,
Well, I think everybody knows Tyler's just busting, though, but it's good to clarify it.
Well, yeah, like this week, for example, I sent out the nomination form that will be used, next month to the committee just to review it, make sure it looked good, make sure it made sense. Were there any suggestions, any changes, any wording changes in the nomination ballot? So those are the type of things that they help me. Marcus has reached out to me and said, "Hey, you spelled that word wrong in that video. Go
those words.
Yes,
Plural." Well, and let's speak about the timeline for a second. So, we got a little bit of a lull here. Speak about this year's timeline, when things are open, when people can vote, when the website they can have access, all that stuff.
Yep. So next Friday, I'm actually going to be doing a live stream. It's the 14th, Friday the 14th, to kind of reveal all of the changes, all of the different. There's a few changes in some of the categories. We've added another award category in each of the 3 tiers that we had last year, and there's some other changes. We're going to have a total of 26 categories. So last year we had 22. I really wanted to keep it to 25, but I just couldn't cut one of the other new ones. So it's 26, but I can never see us going more than, I keep saying, every year we've grown, right? We did year 1 was 11 categories, 22. Now we're at 26, but 26 is by far the most we will have, unless, I get some big sponsor, and, money's no object, but next Friday, we're going to be discussing all of the category changes and the schedule. But then, and that's about a month out. So May 13th to Saturday is when we kick off the nomination period will open. You'll be able to go to the CBCA Awards website and, begin the nomination, process. And that's going to run until August. So it's about 12 weeks. And then we have a period for the committee to review, basically 2 weeks, and then the finalists voting. The finalists will be announced, 5 finalists in each category, and then voting for that will open up at the end of August and run through November. And then the first Saturday of December, every first Saturday of December will be when the awards will take place. Winners will be revealed. So that's December 2nd this year.
And I want to add that last year for the awards, I went live for both my nominations and my votes and discussed it with the community and tried to highlight, hey, this is happening, we're voting. And I had a lot of fun doing it. So anybody who's involved in this and you want to continue and help us push this thing, then I highly recommend you go live for your nominations and help us spread the word when that happens.
Yeah, those videos really helped. There was a number of people that, Marcus, Comic Bookworm, Simple Simon, a number of people who showed, basically brought up the ballot and basically went through their decision making for the different, either nominating channels or their finalist vote. And those videos really just continue to help spread the word.
And a lot of people said, wow, you're so brave for doing this on camera, but I need everybody to know that I don't care. Like, if you're mad,
Well, it looked like you were having fun because I was watching you do it last year. It was fun watching you get stumped in some categories too.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard, yeah. But like, if you're the kind of person who's like, oh, I can't believe he didn't nominate me, or I can't believe he didn't vote me, then fuck off. I don't care.
I need you all to know that I am a nihilist.
Well, your plan of canceling me didn't work. It didn't work.
No,
Shutting off my internet didn't do it. I'm innovative. I'm very innovative. I'm using my camera now. I'm using my phone. So now you get a different.
I watched yours, Naman. You dirty liar. I think I did forget to comment though. So
I don't know what you guys. I don't know, guys, we're talking about. But I'll go on the rewind and I'll watch it again and I'll comment on it as if I was here. All right.
Good. We expect that from you.
All right. So
the whole time you were gone, Brian LCS was just slamming you nonstop. Ooh, did he just lose his internet again? I think he just hit his phone and
this
can't
is
even pick on him, and he's back out already.
Yeah, this is the gods. Oops, I mean, he's the most masculine man alive.
Now, Brian, one of the things that was a hit last year was your new awards design.
Yes.
Cool.
So I mean, you that's another win, and you said you're sticking with that motif, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to change that up because that was we've had a lot of feedback about the award, the trophies themselves last year. So we'll I'll update the logo for showing 2023, but we're going to keep that similar design.
That's mad Spidey.
I think CJ's frozen.
I'm not frozen. I'm being quiet because every time I open my mouth, I get canceled. So now I'm just listening right now. And then
the universe is canceling you.
I don't know. There's all these anti-Germites running around, and they're all against me. I don't know what the hell it is, but I'm just trying to represent the real comic book community. That's all I'm doing.
The real comic. I love that term so much. I am in love with that term.
What's she doing right now? She's doing. This is not look at me time. Hey.
This.
Look
Shut
at
up.
and look,
Multitask. Quit whining.
This is Marcus and Brian time. This is grilling time, not look at me time. Okay, we're not doing
look at me. Saying thank you, Internet God, for
Lady Fantastic
is.
She is entertaining the people who don't care. So you keep doing it, buddy.
So. We talked a little bit about the new awards design. What other kind of things are you guys looking to jazz it up, kind of have a little fun with it? Was there any other discussions with the committee about some other changes, like especially to like the way you do the show? Like you guys mentioned a little video of each person, which adds to it. But I think
we're gonna definitely do that. We're gonna for the finalists, and so instead of the first 2 years we had more text based, so we're going to have video clips of the finalists and things like that as part of the live show. We want to continue to get the community involved, with videos and skits during the live show.
I'd love to see you have a co-host for it. And
we're going to add a co-host this year.
Who's going to be the co-host?
I'm going to show my titties. Just kidding.
I vote Lady Fantastic.
Yeah, Lady Fantastic, she's in.
Winner.
Norris. I like being part of this, but obviously I'm providing the levity.
No, it's all. I mean, if you got something you really want to ask Caroline, absolutely go ahead.
So actually, I want to just make an observation and comment. I think, Brian, this was really cool of you to do. And he said that he was part of like a financial group or some group where it's like you guys are nerds about like saving
so
money.
Personal finance.
Personal financing, nerd stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, so like I really think that it's cool of you to take this very niche thing, but then recognize that like every niche needs something to be like, hey, we love each other. Even though we do dorky stuff, we appreciate what one another do. One another does. I don't know. I like that. And like, while I have no real strong opinions about who wins and who doesn't, I have a strong opinion about your mindfulness about thinking of this. This is this really cool thing.
Well,
It makes a lot of people happy. And I think you're doing a good thing. And so when you hear the yah, filter it out because you know why you started it. And I think most of the people who watch you know why you started it. And that's just because you're a good fucking person. It's not because you has any other ulterior motives. And so
Yeah.
all the whining, just calm down and don't do something else.
Yeah. I think after that first year, Brian has a pretty thick skin after that first year.
Yeah. I'm focused. I'm focused on just continuing to grow it and keep it positive. Yeah. I mean, when I started my channel and when I started watching comic book, content on YouTube, I was amazed at the amount of variety and entertainment value. You look at channels like, DJ Links with just his editing ability, or, Freaky Louie, the guy's, skits and putting on costumes and making backgrounds. And so I was really amazed at the level of, talent. And most people are just doing it in their free time, their spare time. And so, I took that idea from the personal finance space. They have an award show that they do for, the best bloggers and best, investing. But they have a bunch of different categories that they give away. And so I said, well, I could take that idea and put it into the comic book community and really celebrate the community. That was the initial idea.
It's awesome, dude.
Now, how does the stress with that grow with each year? Or has it gotten easier for you?
It's gotten easier. Like I said, I think year one was the toughest because I never really anticipated that people would have a negative reaction to it. I didn't anticipate it. And,
that means you're doing it right.
And when they did, I started to kind of go at Pressable Defects was the one that really kind of got under my skin. And I started going back at them a little bit. And, I quickly realized that I really needed to stay above that. And it at one point, one of the the butcher from Pressable Defects reached out, and he was kind of he started taking it personally, like some of the jabs that I was throwing back at them. And I said, no, this isn't a personal thing. I don't have any animosity towards the three of you guys. It's more
the bear's going to fight back.
Right. The more of what you said about the awards. And so, but we settled everything. We squashed it. But that lesson really taught me that I had to be, I have to be above it. I have to be, if I really want to make the award successful, I have to be, I have to be Sweden. I have to be neutral.
You won't be happy going back and forth like that.
Right.
Place is
and it was
not
causing me stress and I was getting angry, and I said, this is not what the purpose of the awards, are. And so, that was a good lesson to learn very early on.
And it's like you have no control over how other people react. And like, dude, so you said it shocked you that people reacted negatively to it. It shocked me when people reacted negatively to the Ashley Reese or the LSU chick. They freaked out about that. And it's Angel Reese. Yeah, and it's like, dude, they're trash talking. That's what you do. So it's fine. Just there's always going to be some pearl clutching.
Well, you got gatekeeping. You
gatekeeping and pearl clutching.
You missed the word. That's the key word. Gatekeeping. So who's keeping the gates to the real community right now? Is it
I don't have any respect for gatekeeping people.
Did Brian break through those gates? Did Marcus break through those gates? Did Gary break through those gates?
I don't care
grow
about
together?
those gates. Those gates don't exist.
What's going on even gates?
Yeah, they don't exist.
Well, they do exist.
No,
they do exist.
They don't.
As much as we want to deny them, there are people that like to gatekeep.
Right,
so,
but they're irrelevant is my point. You can gatekeep, but I don't have to care. And I don't. at all.
It's kind of mean. Yeah.
Marcus, I don't care. I want a t-shirt.
Well, I think that's the
I
thing
mean-
because you got inundated that first year and surprised Brian. But if you're gonna host anything that is gonna be community based, you have to be able to have a thick skin and rise above it and
Oh yeah.
just let it be
And
what
I'm
it
just-
is.
And I'm
You gotta
really
be able to
hostile.
fight back too, though.
I'm hostile to gatekeeping people because those kinds of people keep people out of this community, and I want this community to grow in every way, shape, and form. And I want the things that even I don't follow, I want them to grow too. So if you're into the comic book stuff I don't like, I still want you to grow. I want everybody to come in this thing and sustain this thing. And that's one of the reasons why I'm such a supporter of the awards, is that I think comic book YouTube is important for the future of comics. It's important for the future of bringing people into this thing, into this culture, and growing it and making sure that it survives well into the digital age. And I think we're a crucial part of it, this culture that we're building. And the Comic Book Community Awards is a way for us to spread that culture further. And that's why I'm way into it.
Well, and I think too, we keep thinking that this community is going to taper off at some point. And you see channels come, you see channels go, but I think the one constant is you still see the community getting bigger every year.
Mm-hmm. And
There's
that's
far
what it's
more,
about.
there's far more new channels than channels going away every year.
And I just love this culture that we've built online. And each channel has its own community, and those communities circles touch each other, but we all have our own community, and you can jump between communities. I just love it, and I want to see it continue to grow, and I want to support it in every way I can. That's why you see me go after people trying to highlight it and tear it down, because I want people highlighting it to bring it up.
Well, just the 5 people here right now, we all interact with each other. I would say pretty much on the regular, but we also have all these other communities that some of us don't even know about, that we all interact with differently and with.
Tolkien community, Lord of the Rings community, y'all. Did y'all know that there was a whole Tolkien community just like this fucking comic one, but for Tolkien people?
Aggressively relaxing is like an admiral in some huge Star Trek Online armada.
It's always fun when Caroline gets a fresh dime bag.
I don't know. I consider myself a nomad. I just drift from channel to channel, community to community, and do what I do, and then
You do, but you've
circle
got
back.
your own little community on your channel too that works really well together.
Taylor.
Well, I don't know how well it works. My community
There's
is a little
the beacon of light, Taylor Winder.
Right. And while Taylor's in the chat, guys, hashtag get Taylor to 1K already. Come on.
And check out his website with some dope t-shirts, man.
No,
About
but
to blow your mind with this one.
we've been progressing towards when these are happening. You're going to do it in December every year. But is there anything that's kind of been left in the dark that you want to bring out to the light for the community to know about, that you think is like good information that they haven't been privy to yet or haven't really seen?
Sorry, I was watching CJ's phone fall over.
Why is it always on Gary's channel? I get these freaking technical problems.
I like Nauman's idea. The biggest you stream whore. I like that. Who would that be? I'm thinking Rob's Fat Stacks. I feel like Rob's on
we
everybody's
do
stream.
have a category and that we'll recognize maybe a best channel supporter, or so that'll be a category that we're adding.
I love that new category. And
but no, I think we've pretty much covered it. I mean, like I said, the biggest thing is just really spreading the word and getting more people involved. That's the goal this year. I think I think we've done a pretty good job so far, but as we get into the nomination period, we'll continue to spread the word, and then obviously once finalists gets announced, and then we'll continue to promote and spread the word, and hopefully see bigger and bigger numbers for the amount of nominated channels and total votes this year. I mean, that's really the goal.
And everybody in this chat, you guys can absolutely help us spread this word just by talking about it with your friends. If you're on YouTube, give us a little mention on your channel. If you're on Instagram, share one of these videos that we've been sharing. Ask me or Brian to share it with you. Slap your music on there, and let's continue to spread this thing. We need your guys' help, though. This is a community-driven thing, and it can't happen without the community.
Spread it like venereal diseases.
You know, I was about to say this started to sound like a
And
telethon
passionately.
until Lady Fantastic opened her mouth on, and then that just changed the dynamic for everything.
It will. When I open my mouth, shit changes. Good night.
See, now we do need a category like biggest community member that needs to be canceled with only one person in it, and that's Tyler, right?
Yeah, because Tyler sucks.
I think Comic Journey belongs on that list.
Just to pick on Tyler some more,
Poor Tyler.
because I haven't seen him say what did I do yet tonight, so we got to give him to say it at
What
least
did I
once.
do? He's got a new wiener. Tyler's little wiener.
Oh, there you go. Best catchphrases. Not a category, but just like a funny skit.
Yeah, I think hashtags, right? There's certainly a number of ideas that have, category ideas that have been kicked around.
Well, I might have a couple. I might have to throw my 2 cents into that hashtag category right there. You know, as usually, I'll probably, be, shunned the way I normally am.
Mm-hmm. We'll forget about you quickly.
Oh no, you'll never forget about me. Yeah, I'm the guy you love to hate. When I'm not around, you're gonna hate the fact that I'm not around anymore. You're gonna love the fact that you have nobody to hate.
I know.
Good time, Joe.
See, we're watching the preemptive face-off here for the next hunt with those two.
Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know.
There's no more hunt with her. She's done.
Yeah.
I beat her twice.
I would like for Lady to get some real competition.
I beat her twice. We don't need to keep evolving on that. Done. Finito. Done.
CJ is where you 1 and 2. You're 1 and 2, right? And your one win over Dan was BS, if you ask me.
I'm 3-0. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But
you should have won, Blue Hellion. You should have won, Blue Hellion.
I'm 3-0. Let's not make this about me. Let's not make this about the Lady Fantastic. Let's make it about you. You guys. You two guys. You guys. You guys with your inciting the crowds with your CBC Awards. All right.
Moving your finger, dude.
We're talking about.
You're making Caroline dizzy.
Listen, I'm pointing at you. So I want you to know that I'm talking to you. Okay, I'm talking to you. That's how it works. We're talking to you. If I didn't point at you, you wouldn't know I'm talking to you.
I think a funny little skit, right? Best rant on YouTube.
We do need to have a good CJ skit on the
best show about nothing. CJ.
CJ's been on both award shows. He had videos in both. So that's one of the we want to make sure we get involvement from the community. Reach out to me, as we get closer to the awards for ideas, or we want to include as many community members as possible with.
This thing is not closed. I am begging you guys to jump in and take it over, and you can jump in and make it about your favorite channel. I want you to.
Nice.
Well, you don't want to hear my favorite channels, but nobody wants to hear about those. But okay, let's see who's going to win this year. I can't wait.
We all know I'm the answer.
Like what you love, live and let live. Don't be a dick. Life will be good.
Little
I'm
tasty
out.
is the way.
Thanks for having me, Gary. Y'all be safe.
I think John's comics is drunk in the chat, guys.
I know. John's been making me laugh really hard.
I think he's drunk again. I saw him at Old Wolf drunk, and they must be at it again.
I know you guys need to have for fun, because I know you guys meet up at cons sometimes. Just like a live event. Like, do you guys when you guys are at the live events, are you passing out any of the CBCA Awards stuff and promoting it that way at the live events as well?
I did not, but now that you mention it, I should be. So yeah, Brian, you dropped out of the Heroes Con, so I'll have to do it for you then.
Yeah, I can send you some stickers and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I went to a few
That's
cons
another
last
way to
year.
expand it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's a
Sorry,
great
I didn't mean
idea.
to interrupt you, Brian. Go ahead, sir.
I hadn't considered that idea. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was at a few cons last year. Had my CBC Awards T-shirt on, and handed out some stickers and things like that. But yeah, no, that's another good idea.
You should go around with a stamp and just stamp people. Like you get into the club, you just stamp with a CBC award stamp and just have them walk around right on their forehead. That's what you should do. That way everybody could see it.
Oh, make the stamp a QR code. They can just scan their forehead with their phone.
There you go. There you go. You got to be innovative. People like stamps.
Thank you,
don't.
Travis. That's
Right
what we
there.
need, Travis. Thank you, Travis. That is what we need. We need you guys to mention this on your channels. Absolutely. You don't have to campaign for yourself. Just say, hey, this is happening, and we need your participation.
Yeah, and a lot of channels have been. I know Mark, and it's funny. I'll show up in somebody's chat, live stream chat, and then they'll be like, "Oh, Brian, and by the way, CBC Awards, Legion, Mark, DJ, a number of channels, and I'm sure I'll miss some channels, but yeah, Marcus is always promoting it on all the different streams that he's doing. So all of those things help because you don't know who may be in the chat that is not aware of the award. So
one thing that I did last year is and I'm going to do it again this year, is I will go into hostile chats and promote the awards. Like I went into multiple Pressable Defects live streams and was promoting the awards, and I would get some pushback, but I don't care about what any of you think, so it's fine. But I will go into these hostile territories and push this thing because I'm just trying to get it.
And the Defects are a former, they're a winner. They're a winner from last year.
And I nominated and voted for them. I love the Pressable Defects.
Well, it's funny you said that in the form of a promotion. It's one thing to go into the channels that know you, whether they're hostile or not hostile. What I miss? I can't see any comments.
Oh, John's picking on Marcus. John's like, Marcus has a channel?
He does?
He's just trolling Marcus, that's all.
So here's the deal. Like, you guys could go into these chats that are either hostile or friendly, but they know about it. My suggestion is you go into the channels that don't know about you. They have no idea you even exist. Those are the channels that you want to get included in there, because whether they're haters or lovers, they know about you at that point. It's good to keep in the mix with that. In the mix, links. I took your in the mix, but I call it. They're already in the mix, so you want to basically put yourself in a position to introduce yourself to crowds that say, "Who the hell are you?" Well, let me tell you who I am.
Well, I'll let Brian do that because I'm only going into the chats of the communities I'm trying to promote. So I'm trying to promote the hunt. I'm trying to promote the Pressable Defects. I'm promoting the things that I want to see, and I need everybody else to do the same.
Yeah, no, there's a number of bigger channels. Two brothers, Bruce and Stephanie. There's some channels that are 3, 4, 5,000 subs that have been nominated. That I hope that they'll begin to promote, start to or mention it or promote it. We got to get those those bigger channels involved. And so I've reached out, and some people have said, the awards aren't for me. And
oh my God, you scared the shit out of me.
Oh my God, little people.
It scared the hell out of me. All right, sorry guys, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, we it's just a matter of trying to get whoever will help promote it or spread the word about it on board.
It's funny you mentioned those channels that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 subs. What do you consider a large channel? What do you consider in our community to be a large channel?
I mean, I think for me, it's anybody bigger than me, bigger than my channel, right? I mean, if you have
perspective based,
right? I mean, Comix Explain, I think, is one of the biggest channels that I know. Right? He's got 2 point something million.
One of the two channels he has. He's got another one called Geeks Explained as well. That's just as big.
So, but what? Who's Gem Mint? Right? He's over 100K, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm asking you what your definition of a large channel is.
like I said, for me, it's really anybody who's bigger than my channel. So I'm at 1,100 subs. So when I look at channels that are at 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, they're bigger than me.
Okay.
Right. I can go to some and it's funny because the community, like we were saying so earlier, is so big. Like I found 2 new channels this week that are well over, like they're in the 10 and 20,000 range, and I never even heard of them before.
Wow. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
wow.
I'm subbed. I'm subbed to about 1,000 channels, over 1,000 channels, and 99% of them are comic book related channels. But I'm sure there's probably another 1,000 or so channels out there that are not even on my radar.
Well, I'm glad that Gary actually brought that up, that there's 10, 20,000 sub channels that he didn't even know exist, because there's a lot more out there than that anybody could even imagine. There's so many channels that are in the tens and tens and tens, and in a few cases in the hundreds of thousands subs that we don't even know. And that's the thing that I'm trying to emphasize, that in order to get this thing to grow and get there, you need to get those channels somehow involved in there. Somehow get them part of the community. We get into our little caves and our little circles where we kind of see tunnel vision, and we don't realize how big the world is around us. And I'll tell you something. This community is massive, massive, and it has the possibilities of getting a lot of attention to these awards. And in order to do that, you got to get these large scale channels to be involved. That's my mindset. I always think
I would disagree with you. I think this community is not massive at all. And the way that you can tell that is if you look at cooking channels, millions of subs, video games channels, millions of subs. But in terms of comic books, 50,000, 20,000, 10,000, that's the biggest we really get outside of Comics Explained. So I think
Incorrect,
I think we're a really small niche community. Actually, in the grand scheme of YouTube, we're actually really small. But you are right in that it's going to be important for us. And this is one of the things that I said at the awards last year, and what I've been saying continually, is that we've got to get buy-in from these bigger channels. Absolutely.
I'm sorry to correct you, Marcus, but I'm not sorry. Here's the thing. There's not only a couple channels that are in the millions and hundreds of thousands. There's a lot more than you think. All you got to do is open up your eyes and look. They exist. They're out there.
I think what you're doing is you're looking at the community in a vacuum, and I'm looking at the larger.
I'm
YouTube
actually looking
community.
Outside the vacuum.
And if you look at the larger, and I don't care to argue about it, but if you look at the larger YouTube community, the biggest channels in our niche are minuscule compared to the biggest channel in other niches.
That may be true. Doesn't mean that it's not massive.
I said, what did I say? I said, in the grand scheme of things, in relativity of the YouTube community, we are small, but this is an irrelevant conversation, so we can skip it.
I'm just saying there's other channels. Not only Comic Explained, there's Comic Story, and
we're not disagreeing. We're not disagreeing.
There's Comic Pops. There's Comic Tropes. There's big channels out there, massive channels out there, and I could list a ton of them.
We're not disagreeing.
Well, and CJ, what I did do is send me that list. Send me because like I said, I probably have about 1,000 channels on my radar, and so I've reached out to the channels that I'm aware of. But if there are channels that you think I should be contacting or reaching out to, anybody in the community, send me that. Send me their Instagram, send me their YouTube link. I'll certainly reach out. I have 1,000 channels that I'm aware of. So, if there's another 1,000 that I should be reaching out to, I'm more than happy to do that. It's just they're not on my radar.
John,
and what I would say,
I'm just saying we're focused on the smaller ones, which is great to focus on the smaller ones, but there's a lot bigger ones out there.
We're not focused on the smaller ones, though. We're really not.
If I have 10 channels that are 5,000 subs, that's 50,000 potential 50,000 eyeballs. Maybe there's some. I'm sure there's overlapping subscribers, but still, I think that's a pretty big number. Yeah, if we could get channels that are 10, 20,000, Comic Book Bueller size, Reggie Collect size, Comic Tom size,
Very Gary.
Gem Nick.
Yeah, but I
Very
think
Gary,
that
I've reached out to Very Gary a few times, and he's actually won. He's won now 2 years in a row. I've sent him trophies. I've not heard a thing from him. And so, at what point do I give up? You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, no, I was
I've
just
talked to
throwing
him.
out a big channel that I'm aware of.
Well,
what I
I'm going
would
to have
say,
Gary on very soon, and when I do, I'll call him out on it. I'll tell
Well,
you.
and
That.
I've sent him messages on Instagram. I've talked to him at I think it was Terrificon. I spoke to him about it. And like I said, he's a previous winner. So that's one of the things I try to leverage is previous nominated or finalists or winners. They should help promote it because they've seen the benefit of it, or they have seen, they've been involved. And so
and the way that I would respond to Comic Journey comment is that this thing has to be community driven. Brian can reach out to channels and he can do what he can do, but at the end of the day, he's not going to be able to single-handedly grow this thing. So if you're of the attitude that this channel should be involved and this channel should be involved, then this thing is community driven. You've got to ride for the channels you want to see. You've got to ride for them. That's just how
Hey,
it
I
works.
think I'm doing my part as far as trying to bring bigger and smaller channels together.
So do I.
I don't know what more I could do as far as what I'm doing.
I think, and that's all it takes. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
if
I
there are
think
bigger,
Marcus is just making a statement that not all channels do that.
No, they don't. They don't. And I also know that a lot of the smaller channels have tunnel vision. I'm sorry to tell you guys this. I'm sorry to tell you this, guy. 500, 1,000 subs. Yes, it is accomplishment. It's a nice pat on the back, but it's
where does
peanuts.
John live? Where does John
But
live
it's
in
peanuts in
California?
front of
I'm
the big channels.
booking a flight tomorrow morning. All right, you don't come after my Royals, John.
That's all I'm saying. Like we get into our tunnel visions of the smaller channels, and it's great. That's how you start a movement. The ground roots.
I disagree that we're tunnel vision on the smaller channels.
Oh, absolutely. And you could interview and you could talk to a lot of the smaller channels, and I could guarantee you, if you focus and you actually listen to what they're saying, they are tunnel vision.
Well, I
They are very
think part of
tunnel
that, just my 2 cents, is people interact with who will interact back with them. If some of these channels ignore you and don't interact with you, it kind of forms its own tunnel at that point.
Right. I mean, like I said, I've reached out to some channels and I've never, multiple times, and I've never heard back from them. So at some point, I give up and I move on to somebody else. Right.
Maybe
Yeah,
they
we
don't
can't.
like you. Maybe they don't
We
like
can't.
you. You ever think of that? Maybe they don't like you. Maybe they're like, who is this guy? I don't like this Brian. No, I'm
Have they seen my trophy?
Listen, Brian. All I'm saying is, I know it's a beast sometimes to get through to these bigger channels. Believe me, I understand that. But if you really believe in this, you got to be relentless.
Oh yeah,
that's my mindset.
I'm
trying to help.
You should see the amount of emails and DMs I've sent on Instagram, and like I said, a lot of them I've asked for some of the comic book websites to maybe promote it, like that share comic book news, to maybe mention it, or to highlight some of the winners. I've reached out to some of the companies within the community to see if they'll sponsor or donate. I've had some response. I've had others that I never hear from. So
Now, along those lines, though, Brian, too, because I think this is important, and I think it's a part of it people don't consider. How much of this eats up your personal time, and how much of your personal time can you really be expected to put into it?
yeah, it certainly
I mean,
does.
you have a family you got to spend time with too, right?
Right. Yeah, no, it's a
your own
balance,
shit.
and that's where the committee helps, because they're able to help make decisions where I don't have to do it all by myself, and spreading the word. But a lot of the outreach for sponsorships and things like that, I'm doing myself. But I also ask the community if they have a contact or know of somebody, they could contact them for me or give me their information. I could reach out. So, it just, there's only so much I can do, in my free time. So I was just reading John's comment.
Did Comic Tom ever
Anything
get
on
back to you, Brian? Brian, did Comic Tom ever get back to you?
Yes. Yeah. Comic Tom got back to me. Yep.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good, 'cause I'll put him on the spot more if that's the
most of the
case.
bigger channels like Gem Mint, responsive, like they've won awards, they'll reach out, thank me. You know, I've sent them their trophies. They posted it on Instagram. Tom has done that. Gem Mint has done that. You know, a number of the winners have been, you know, graceful when they've won. They'll share it or talk a little bit about it. There's only been a handful of channels that have not. So.
Well, I'll tell you this much: if you got a hard time getting through to anybody, let me know. I'll make sure you get through.
Hey, let's get
Brian-
Comics Explained. That would be amazing if we could get him. That would be
Listen,
crazy.
they're the biggest one that I've been hunting for to do an
That
interview
would
with
be
right now,
crazy. That would be awesome, dude.
and I've been going back and forth with them. I'm having a beast getting through his schedule because he's a freaking diva. No, honestly, the guy runs a business. So there's
No,
a
he
full
runs
business.
he runs a huge channel, man.
Yeah, he's legitimate. I'm not gonna play games with that. He's you know, I get it. I'll eventually get through to him, and when I do, I'll introduce the CBC Awards to him.
That's gonna be awesome, dude. I'm rooting for that. I would love that.
I'm not gonna give up on that because I actually genuinely enjoy it. That channel.
Like, his channel is crazy good. If you're not up on Comics Explained, you need to be. It's crazy.
And that's
Comics
one I've
Explained and
never seen too. So that's a
Geek
new one to
Culture
me.
Explained. He has two channels. The Geek Culture Explained, I think, is the other one.
Yep, Geek Culture is explained. A very good channel. Comic
They're
stories.
both
his
excellent.
videos are great. His
both
videos
far
are very
bigger.
informative.
They're far bigger than your normal comic book channel. Both of them.
Oh yeah.
That's why they're freaking divas. That's why they're divas, and they don't get back to you when in a proper time frame. But
I think
hey,
you earned that, right? You
I
get
reached
a
out to
level, you
Mr.
earn it.
Beast Taylor. He didn't get back to me.
Did you really?
I did.
He's not a comic book channel, is he?
No, but still, he could.
I have no idea who that is. So
I don't
makes
really know who he
hamburgers.
is either. I just know he's on YouTube.
Mr. Beast makes hamburgers and he gives money away. That's his
money
thing.
away, yeah. So I asked him for money. He never got back to me.
I like hamburgers.
Yeah, that's what he does. See, I know these. See, that's the thing. We all have tunnel vision. We don't know these massive. You know how big Mr. Beast is? He's massive, massive.
Oh yeah.
Even
He's
by
not
accident,
comic, so I don't care.
you run into him by accident. That's how massive he is.
Well, you know, and I'll definitely comment on that from my perspective. CJ, is I certainly do have tunnel vision because I interact with those who interact with my channel, and I'll interact with someone new, and if they don't give anything back, then I just don't waste my time with them.
See, I think
And I only have so much
you're
time a day to
downgrading
watch.
a little bit because you.
And I already feel bad enough for all the ones I don't get to watch. I'm not going to waste time on somebody that doesn't interact with me at all or doesn't even acknowledge that I exist.
Well, Gary, I'll tell you something. I understand that point of view, but it's a little contradictory to how you actually have acted in the past, because you have searched out for these channels that are a little ambiguous. These a little bit obscure channels that that's on nobody's radar. That's how you discovered my channel.
Yeah, but that's just to give someone a lift. I'm not looking for anything from them. But if I'm going to your channel and I make a comment in your video, and you can at least reply back.
Very true.
I'm not the best about that. I'm trying to be better though.
Yeah, Mr. Beast only has 141 million subscribers.
That's it.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, he probably has people that does his replies for him.
Only
Yeah,
141.
I agree with John. Like, I watch the bigger channels like Comics Explained when they have a subject that I'm interested in, but the smaller channels just have the community, the comic book nerds hanging out, and that's what I come here for more than anything.
Well,
Yeah, but
I
do
think
you
that's part of what creates, to your point, CJ, the tunnel vision, is that you're gonna go towards people that you start to feel a kinship with and develop friendships with, and that's what the
son of a bitch.
I was hoping it was the phone that fell and not you.
Yeah, all right. I'm back. I'm normal. Listen, I understand exactly what you're saying. I understand that, But you have to also take this into consideration and think of it very carefully. And this is how I really, really believe it is. These large channels are the gateways to the smaller channels. In
Oh,
order
yeah, we
for-
understand that. We understand.
for a lot of people to discover some of these smaller channels, they start watching the larger channels. And that's how I started getting involved in the community, because I started watching larger channels a few years ago. And through those larger channels, I got recommendations. I got these channels that popped up out of nowhere that I didn't know about. And I would go and click on them. And that's how, the thing is, the more we get the larger channels involved, your little channel is going to get connected to them one way or the other.
Oh, you're 100% correct.
We agree with you, Comic Journey. This is exactly what I said on the awards last year. You're saying exactly what I said.
Yeah, I'm just reiterating it in my own different way, but I'm just making it clear, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are in the chat right now that don't really understand that.
No, that's what I said, is that we got to get these bigger channels to talk about the awards. That's exactly what I said.
Definitely.
Big boy channels. Shoot for the stars.
Well, CJ, I'm serious. Send me a list, or I'm aware of Comic Explained, right? Gem Mint, Comic Tom. Those are some of the bigger channels that are on my radar. But I'm sure there's plenty of channels that are not. So, if you're aware of those channels, let me know, and I'll certainly reach out.
You know what? You just gave me a topic. You just gave me a topic. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this as a gift to you and the entire community. I'm going to do the top 100 massive channels you've never heard of before.
There you go.
Okay? And you can and replay it over and over again. Make gazillions of subs for me to do that. Okay? I'll do that for you. All right? And then I'll write
Is it as popular as your Mario Brothers porn videos, or no?
Nothing is as popular as Mario Brothers porn. Nothing is as popular as that. People love their Nintendo.
I want to say to the people in the chat, if you're looking out in this community and you see this channel that you think should be involved and this channel that you think should be involved, then I'll say it again, this is a community-driven thing. When I decided to sign on to this whole thing, I didn't hit up Brian and say, I'm in, what do I do? I said, I'm in. I'm going to go push this in Pressable Defects chat. I'm going to go here and push this in this chat. I'm going to go to these places and push this thing, because I'm trying to do my part to grow this thing. And that's what it's going to take. So if you're looking at us and you're saying this channel should be involved, that channel should be involved, help us. Help us.
Yeah, Mint Hunter, I reached out to a few times, couching, and got nothing.
Yeah, Mint Hunter's another good channel. Yeah.
He's a good channel, but he's a diva.
I mean, you get to I think if you get to like 10,000 subs, you have every right to be.
Bullshit. 10,000 is like piss hands. Come on.
It is piss hands, but it's enough to be a diva, because not everybody.
No, it's not.
Trolling you extra hard, Marcus.
Yeah, you know what? I hate that the people say that. Like, 10,000. No, screw you, 10,000. You're going to reply to me. Who do you think you are? Comics Explained? No. You're not Mr. Beast. 10,000 is.
I'll ignore you with 100 subs, buddy. What's your point?
Well, that's your prerogative. That's your prerogative. But I don't care. 10, 20. It doesn't. These are not big channels. They're nice size. But here, pat on the back. Pat on the back. You got 10,000 subs. You're not massive. You could reply to Instagram. You could do
John,
that.
I want to talk to John here. He does mention one of the biggest members of the real comic book community, Decor. So if you're trying to be a part of the real comic book community, you should hit him up. And if you do hit him up, if you could send him a message that just says #sweet keychain, bro, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, don't forget the Stinky Goose too. You gotta put that one in the mix too.
I don't have beef with Stinky. I don't have beef with him.
I don't have beef with anybody.
I have beef.
I have beef with everybody that disagrees with me. That's how I
very much do not like Decor. I have no respect for that dude. And if he wants to start up again, I want to start up again too. So let me know. I'm not following him, so if he does start up again, just let me know, because I'm ready to go. I got so many more memes for that guy.
I say, you're still fired up.
I think he was picking fights with the Whatnot guys over the weekend.
I know. I saw that. Yeah, people have been sending me his posts. I'm like, I don't care about him. Don't send me his posts.
Here's the bottom line, guys. I don't want to give you guys a hard time. I really don't want to give everybody a hard time, and I hope that it doesn't come off that way. I actually want to see progress, and that's why I'm drilling hard on going big. I'm one of these guys that really believe in go big or go home. You know that I really do believe that, and I don't like to see like goals be set low. Go a little higher. All right, you don't hit that goal the first year, that's okay. Hit it the next year. Hit it the next year. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my mindset. Don't set the bar too low. There's no challenge in getting the little things done. Get the big things done. That's my mindset.
I like Drunk John. I'm a big fan of Drunk John.
No, I don't disagree with you, CJ. I you know, and I have to find time to get my name out there more in those bigger channels. And you know, what I'm doing now is growing my channel. Certainly not at the pace I would like, and I know it helps to get your name in those circles. At the same time, I feel that my content's so different that it might not help out at all.
We are.
Really, you don't think what we're doing right now is helping anybody? I think the way what you're doing right now, this show right now that we're having this round table, whatever you want to, it's square, but this round table, this round table that we're having right now. Don't you think that actually helps? Don't you think it really helps the community? It don't, huh? Don't you think? Don't
I
you
think
think?
it does, but I don't think any of those big channels are going to find my show here and watch it and find the four of us through it.
Yeah,
Well,
they're not.
they're not going to find it by accident. Maybe they will.
Those people don't have time to watch us, though. They've got to
But
run.
you would be
channels.
surprised. You will be so. You know what? A lot of times, they might not be watching, but their people are watching for them and say, you know what? You should take a look at what they're doing.
And this is what it's about, right? Is we got to reach their people and get their people to do the work, to get their people to ride for them, because that's what it's going to take. Is the people who are surrounding these communities, surrounding these channels, have got to come and push these channels.
Well, regardless of the method, as long as it ends, is what you're trying to get to. It doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there, and that's all I'm pushing. I want you guys to have the biggest, the baddest, freaking CBC award thing ever. I want to see Marcus come in there and slap Brian for like Oscar award type of a feel. You want to get that kind of thing. We want to get the world buzzing. Well, actually, the internet world. All right, no, the comic community world buzzing about this show. And I that's all I'm trying to make a point of.
You just gave me the funniest mental image of Marcus. Marcus, what was the guy you've been having problems with? What's his name?
Decor.
Going up on stage and slapping him and saying, "Keep my award show out your mouth."
Violence not the answer, guys.
Violence isn't the answer. It's just funny.
It's funny that Gary said that, and not me. Thank you for saying that, Gary. Because if I said it, I'd be inciting things. But you're Gary, so you could get away with saying things like that. All right, so
I'm casually evil.
Maybe we could just slap Tyler instead.
As long as there's a slap, listen. As long as there's slap action going on, I think we'll be okay.
I would watch Ignacio slap you, Adrian. I bet Ignacio's got a pretty good slap. That's what we need. One of those slap contests. That new thing that's going now.
We need somebody with big beefy hands to give out that slap. Like somebody like good beefy slap hands. Like who's a good candidate for that? Panda. I would love to see Panda like smack somebody and then smile on top of it. And
That's right. That's right, Carrie. Thank you. But anyway, I don't know if anyone has anything else. We have been going for an hour and a half. Was there anything that you had left, CJ, that you wanted to ask him before we start wrapping up?
There's always something left, but we can. This is not like an endless stream. I value your time and their time and the chat's time. So we're not gonna just keep going over and over again. I think we're all somewhat supportive of these CBC awards. I believe that's the case, and we agree to disagree about a lot of things. And I think that the one thing that we all could be in unison on is that we want to see them succeed.
Correct. But I think the only way that you and Marcus are gonna solve any beef you guys have is in a ring of Jello wrestling with banana hammocks. It's the only way I see you guys getting through this.
I don't have any beef with that, Marcus. No, I don't have any beef with anybody.
CJ.
I'm not going to pull out my freaking banana hammock on for Marcus or anybody else. So you got to pay me big money to do that.
I think we have the opening for the 2023 Comic Book Community Awards right there.
Right. Oh, no, but I do want to thank, first of all, CJ, thanks for coming on and co-hosting with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, CJ.
Before we get to the final thanks, we are going to go around the table, and we'll start with you, Brian. What do you have coming up, sir?
So Breakfast with Brian every Saturday morning, 10 a.m., but next Friday night, will 8:30 p.m. Eastern, live stream to break down all of the CBC awards for this year, new categories, and all the nuts and bolts. And so that'll join me then.
And Marcus, what's coming up for you, sir?
I'm still working on my comic book story time, my collab, where members of the community come and tell a story about a comic book that they love, and they make an argument about that story, and then I edit the hell out of it, and we put it up and present it. So look, I've got 2 story times that I'm lining up. I got to record and edit, but I'm always looking for more storytellers. So if anybody's interested in that, and then every Tuesday night, I've started an FOC and chill at 8:30 Central Time, where we look at the FOC list coming up for the next month, and we talk about whatever else is going on in the community. So definitely check it out.
Nice. Real quick shout out. If none of you watch Keep On Collecting, they are a fantastic toy channel. I love that channel. The toys they show are amazing and so nostalgic. Just great. All right, CJ, what's coming up for you, sir?
Actually, a couple things. One thing you're going to be very excited about, very, very excited about. My latest WTF episode number 26 will be featuring Bonan the Barbarian. I think you're going to love that one. So you're going to love it. It's very savage, and just keep an eye on that. It's going to come out. I have a scheduled stream for tonight for an Insomniac. However, I'm having a lot of technical issues. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get through them until the time, but who knows? Maybe there'll be one. Maybe there will not be one. And the last but not least, after Brian's show where he unveils all the categories and everything, I will be doing a follow-up stream right after that, and I will dissect and criticize everything he says. So it'll be great.
Awesome. Looking forward to that.
And it'll be live because we do it live. That's how it works.
We do it live.
And coming up for me, please check out this Saturday. My Savage Saturday comic review is live once again with Stephanie and I going through and looking at a Conan art portfolio. This week it's Doug Beekman. Last week we did Bart Sears. If you didn't watch our stream last week, please check it out. We had a lot of fun. We got some great comments on it, and we had a great live chat. We will be live at 12 o'clock Eastern. And so Stephanie and I will be going through the art again. And we're going to have a lot of fun with it, just like last week. We already got a bunch of people waiting. So if you guys could stop by and see that after Brian's show, we'll be there. And other than that, thank you all for coming out, the chat. You guys were great tonight. You had us cracking up. There was times I just had to be quiet because I was going to burst out laughing if I started talking. John, that's mostly your fault tonight. But good stuff. And until next time, guys, as always,
More drunk John.